Okay, Doomscribblers. For everyone who's in the room, today we've been talking about why you don't use a gun to shoot off a lock. For anyone who's not in the room, you can go and look up, if you're in America, you can go and look up the Mythbusters on why you shouldn't point a gun at a lock to shoot your way into a locked house. And during the course of this discussion, it turned out that the Doomscribblers wanted to hear me talk to them unfiltered because I have had no sleep. And the truth of the matter is, I am pretty blunt most of the time. One of my pride, here comes the fall, shit. One of my things I'm proud about is that I try to tell the truth all the time, which does not make you popular. Truly, it doesn't make you popular. But it means that if the dogs weren't all over everything, you could sleep at night. So they wanted an unfiltered version of me. So here's an unfiltered version of me. Where are we now? We are getting close to having book one done for every team. And we're getting some wonderful feedback from Micah, and the responses I'm seeing are professional responses. I am very proud of how you are responding to him saying, I need you to make a change. You've finished a whole book and I need you to make this change. And that's what happens in the real world in publishing. Your publisher, your editor, your agent comes back to you and says, this thing isn't landing. And if they're good, they will be able to tell you exactly what that thing is because they understand the market. If they're not as good, it will be fuzzier. You'll get fuzzier feedback. So we together are learning things about the house rules for how this version of Post-Apoc is being written. And one of the things that I learned today was that he wants way less interiority. People thinking about what they're doing, which happens a lot in the kind of trad fiction that I have written historically. He wants us to dial that way back. This is one of the reasons I told you not to read Melt as your example, because we are an action-oriented genre. So have a look at that while you're doing your edits and be prepared for me to have you pull way back on people asking themselves questions or second-guessing themselves. And I'm going to be helping you craft these chapters so they are much tighter. And they're pretty tight already. They're pretty good already. This is not insurmountable. This is really, really doable. Where are we in terms of our process? As you can hear, Sassafras is being an asshole and standing outside the back door and barking because I haven't fed her for the 7th time today. So you're just going to have to put up with it, because if I let her in, then I have to feed her. You did say you wanted me with no filter. Right, so where we are is we have learned a lot in the process of getting everyone's voice together. So we're working on the hero's journey in close third, and we are dialing some people up with more exposition, giving us more sense of place, giving us more sense of the person, and other people more dialogue. So we're doing this thing to bring our voice together. But at the same time, you're all learning how these different pieces of storytelling craft go together. And you are learning about what you do habitually so that you can make choices about what you want to do habitually. You're going to be able to look at other people who are writing in your genre and see the craft tools that they're using and to what effect. And you're going to be able to look at a chapter yourself and say, I want this moment when the father realizes his son is going to die. I want that to be the thing that lands. And so you're building and building and building to that moment. You're not saying it over and over again. So I'm talking to somebody whose chapter I've just read. You're not saying that thing again and again, because if you repeat it, you are weakening that moment and you're making the character weaken. You want to bring pressure to bear in every way that you can. Every circumstance that you can is going to go wrong. Everything they try is going to break and fail and not work. And they're not going to stop and think about it. They are going to be go, 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 go. And I'm going to show you how to do that. In terms of getting feedback from me, I have been flagging the stuff that we are working on. So the tools of close third, which are getting to showing. You want to be in the present, although we're writing in the past tense. You want to be in the interiority. Fuck, that's the wrong word. Shit, bugger, damn. And now I have to say that this isn't for children because I used bad language. So what you want is to be in the experience, not the interiority, the experience of this character. And you are in the experience of this character by showing us what they see. Not by telling us what they see, but by showing us what they see, which means that you want to pull out all filtering. If you're still not quite understanding filtering, let me know and I will do another video on filtering, because what I want to do in the next book is to just go through and go filter, but not gefilter, because gefilte fish is yuck. I want to be able to go through and go nope, and you to recognize what it is you're doing in that moment. Are you using filtering language? Are you using a dialogue tag that is a tell? Because every time you use dialogue tags, he acknowledged, he admitted, barked, hinted, hissed, they're all tells. Do you want to use a tell in that moment? Well, mostly you don't. Sometimes you do, and we're going to get to that. How else do you know that you're telling and not showing? If you use emotion words to tell the audience what's going on. So someone is angry, sad, helpless, mad, glad, satisfied, that you're telling the audience what to feel. You're not showing the character, experiencing that. Now, I keep saying that I don't want you to have to spend money. So you can go to Angela Ackerman's site, Writers Helping Writers, and there's lots that you can get for free. But just listen to what they do. So I just picked a chapter. So loneliness. What does a character who is feeling lonely? She's got physical signals, internal sensations, mental responses, cues of acute or long-term loneliness, and may escalate to sadness, hurt, depression, resignation, all of which she flags so that you can go to those pages. So physical signals of loneliness. A longing gaze, don't do that. I will yeet that into the sun, because we do not want a longing gaze in close third. In other voices, there may be other times when you can use a longing gaze, you romance writers, for potato moments. Disinterest in one's appearance, bland clothing, lackluster hair. Well, that might not be loneliness. That might just be a different choice. But anyway, she makes a good point, right? It's not all about me. Slumped shoulders, limp posture, a monotone voice, looking down when walking in public, watching people furtively. Don't do any watching in close third. An expressionless, unsmiling face, sullenness, being generous to others when currying favor. And this is when it starts getting interesting for me, because it starts to go to the psychology. Spying or eavesdropping on others to feel like you're part of something, filling schedule with work or volunteering to avoid downtime, using books, the internet, TV to escape. Oh, well, I'm starting to wonder a bit. An expression that crumples at other people's affections or displays of affection. A heavy sigh. Don't do sigh. Don't do heavy sighs. Talking to oneself. So just listen to this. Internal sensations. A thickness in the throat, signaling the onset of tears. A longing so intense it manifests as pain or aches. Insomnia. Fatigue. Mental responses. Avoiding crowds, large events or social situations. A desire to be included. Angerness, bitterness. Acute or long-term, doubting oneself, a lack of confidence, weight gain, believe that one is unattractive or has a boring personality, uncontrollable crying bouts, ha! Not me! despair of ever being able to change, high blood pressure, workaholic tendencies. Good God, I picked the wrong one, didn't I? Binging, hoarding pets. I swear, I just picked one because I thought it was interesting. I had no idea it was going to be like, well, that's not exactly me, right? What am I getting to? I am getting to you want to be studying your craft. All of you in these rooms have got the goods. You've absolutely got the goods. But you're mostly used to telling stories. And I need to get you to showing stories. And why? The number one book in Amazon right now, in the whole store, not at the top of where their genre is. We've all had number ones in our genres, right? Highest I've been in the store is 412. And I was really, really pleased with that. Will White is number one in the store. Do you know what that means for an indie writer to be number one in the store? That means there's some good storytelling going on. And I want you to get to a place where you understand your genre and you understand storytelling and you understand the tools of your trade. And so I need to get you out of telling. This has just been part one of our studies. So you're not using emotion words, you're not using dialogue tags, you are not using filtering, you're not using state of, oh, we haven't got there yet, never mind. Damn, we're at 11 minutes. I'm really rambling. So when do we want telling? We want telling for insignificant facts. We want telling for transition of time and place. So you need something to go a little bit faster. We want telling for technical information. So, for example, there are bits of The Martian. Why do we love The Martian so much? Extra points if you know the answer to this question. Potatoes? If you didn't see that coming, you don't know me. What we don't want, the kind of telling that I do not want you to want. Some people call it, as you know, Bob, I call it law and order speak, where two people who both know what's going on in a technical environment explain things to each other. This is why you so often, so in police procedurals, this is why you so often have a character who is new, who's a rookie on the job. So you can have a character who is more senior explain something to somebody who is more junior and wouldn't know. You always need to know who knows what and why they would be explaining it, why telling would ever happen in dialogue. Almost never. So this is why you often have rookies and why you very often have orphans in literature, so that they're cut away from a knowledge base. They're cut away from adults. So insignificant facts, transitions, technical information, not, as you know, Bob, unless you've got somebody who's a neophyte, orphan, when we need some kind of a catch-up, we need to change characters, and we have got something that we already know on the page. So let's say in the previous chapter, you showed us what was happening, and then the character goes to a second place, and they meet a character who wasn't there for the entire chapter that was showing, but we need to catch up this character. Then you would actually use exposition in that case to say, you're never going to believe what just happened to me. I was just assaulted by 3 Martians with a bag of potatoes, and it was the most incredible thing. And they have shock horror, and they respond, or in my case, happiness, gladness, and then we go to whatever happens next. So we could use telling to summarize something that has just happened when you need a new character. Okay, the whole reason that I want to have this summary video for you is because I want my editing time to be boiled down to flags of nope, and you understand why I'm noping you, because otherwise I'm gonna die of editing. I won't actually die because I just don't, it turns out. I'm fucking eternal. Oh God, swearing again. While I'm thinking about it. So if somebody, I'm seeing this going on in the rooms, right? So if somebody on your team asks you a question about what you're doing, They don't actually give a flying fuck about what you're doing. They're being polite and they come from ask culture. And when they say, are you doing this? What they actually mean is, you're not landing right for me. This isn't working. But they don't want to hurt your feelings. So they're doing like polite speak. Sometimes it's girl speak. Sometimes it's from guest culture. And what you have to do is, every time someone asks you a question, you do not answer that question. You think to yourself, oh, it didn't land for that reader. And who is that reader and how much do I trust them? If it's me asking you a question, it means go away and change it. If it's Micah asking you a question, go away and change it. If it's your team leader asking you a question, well, I mean, do you want to take up their time by answering that question in the text? Because if you answer the question for your team leader and they have to read that and come back to you, they just lost time value of money, right? Time value of money means every time you ask a question of somebody else, instead of doing the homework, my God, she's such an asshole. She truly is an asshole today. Non-stop. For all the people who've got toddlers, I just really, really admire you. But I've never had a dog who I absolutely could not understand, and she's been here for 4 months, and I still don't understand what she wants. At the moment, of course, she wants to come inside, but she can't. So when you ask somebody a question, you are asking them to do the work for you. If you genuinely don't understand something, you don't understand why you are getting a note, do your level best to understand it. So I'm looking at myself rather than looking at the camera. Well, because I'm a genius that way. So what you do is you say, is it this? Or you come to me. You come to me and you ask and you say, I still don't understand filtering. I don't understand the why of it. One of the great things that I'm seeing as you go through and you do this editing process where you're commenting on each other's pages is I get to see what you don't understand, which is wonderful for me. Really, really useful. And I will do my best to fill those gaps. All right, you asked for Unfiltered Me. If you want a 2-line summary of where I think your writing is, you can write to me and I will give that to you. Very blunt. 2 lines, that's it. So it will be some version of you tell too much, there's still too much interiority, there's too much time spent getting there, you don't understand what the emotional heart of your chapters are, that kind of feedback. But you're all doing really, really well, and I don't want you to beat yourselves up. But if you want that, then, today's the day to get it. All right, my dear Doomscribblers, you're doing fabulously. This was very rambly. I hope there was something useful. Hit me up with questions and add salt.